Hi, welcome back to my channel. This month we'll be doing my April plan with me and seeing how this quarterly planning has been working for me. So this month I really wanted to do a solar eclipse theme because of course in North America this year for the solar eclipse, some part of the continent will be in the path of totality. Unfortunately, I'm in California, so I probably won't see that much this year, but I have seen other eclipses before. It's always super cool to me. Science stuff is always fascinating, so I'm excited. I hope this audio sounds okay. I always end up doing this at the end and late at night, so I never really know what it's going to sound like until it's too late. But anyway, similar to my January setup, I took a piece of black craft paper, which came from my Archer and Olive Neapolitan notepad, and I drew my design. Somehow for both in the first quarter and the second quarter, I ended up with a black and white and metallic theme, which was not intentional. There will definitely be something different in the summer for Q3, so it won't always be this color palette. I took this metallic gold pen that I've had for a long time. I'm not even sure where this set came from, but it pretty much looks like a Sharpie, and I liked how they looked when I used it for something else recently, so I finally decided to use this gold color. And I looked up a bunch of different pictures for the solar eclipse, and the one that always stands out to me is when it's the full eclipse and you can see that hazy, fuzzy ring of her sun rays around it, and I thought that looked really cool, so I wanted to try to replicate that here. And also, it's a really easy shape. I just make a blob, so that's nice. This month I also decided to use sticker paper in the form of label stickers. This is just a pack that I had at home for a long time. I have a lot of random craft stationery paper goods at my house, so I can usually find what I need without necessarily having to go buy it. I found the template online for these ones, and then I just printed out my different headers. Originally I tried to do this with my Archer and Olive acrylograph pens. You'll see that I had printed in black, and then I wanted it actually to be white, so I tried tracing over it, and it didn't really work that well. Yeah, and then I also got some of the ink onto the page, unfortunately, so I went back in with my Sakura Jelly Roll just because it showed up better. I think the gel pen helped much more here, and it made the white stand out. And then I got these really pretty lunar mystery washi tapes from Notebook Therapy. I thought they would look really cool with this theme. What I didn't realize until literally a couple weeks after I placed the order was that obviously it was mostly about the moon. So this theme became a little more of a celestial solar eclipse, because obviously it had more moon imagery than the sun. I took my glue tape and then pasted the drawing in. You'll see that really didn't take that much time, so I liked how quick and effortless it was. I really think using stickers and printing out my headers in different fonts is also a great time saver for someone who is really rusty at lettering. I haven't done it in a long time, and you'll see I usually avoid doing it in my spreads. So this really makes it easier, I think, for me who wants to have a pretty setup, but I also unfortunately don't have a ton of time to devote to doing everything by hand. And then next we're moving on to my calendar spread. I'm surprisingly still liking this horizontal setup, and it's pretty much the same as in January and what I've been doing each month. I also really like that April starts on a Monday, so I started my calendar again on a Monday. Usually I'm a Sunday person, but my weekly spreads start on a Monday, because I consider that the beginning of my week of when I do tasks again. I took some different washi that I've had. Some of these are from Shop Amanda Rach Lee or Shop ARL now, I think. And then I'm really going to be utilizing those Notebook Therapy stickers here and washis. So I put a little moon on the 9th and 10th because Eid will be coming up. That's the holiday that we celebrate after the month of Ramadan. And because it's on a lunar calendar, we don't always know exactly what date it is. So it could be the 9th or the 10th, so I should put it in the middle. And then I put this washi here for upcoming events that I wanted to highlight. That'd be a nicer way, instead of coloring in the box, it's a little different. I like this washi tape because it has all these uneven edges, so it looks like paper. And I took an X-Acto knife to cut around the edges so I had a straight line. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong because I'm scared of ripping the paper, or my blade is blunt. And then I put a little sun sticker on the 8th because of the solar eclipse, of course. I had to highlight that. And that's it for the calendar spread. I will go back in and fill important dates once I'm done with my setup, and that'll be off camera, of course. So now we have the cover and the calendar done, and we'll move on to the next pages. If you watched my January plan with me, you'll see that I created this kind of quarterly dashboard spread. So on the left side, I had my Q1 goals, so like my larger objectives, the actionable goals and results that I wanted to accomplish that. This does sound very corporate because I am following the OKR model, which is objective and key results. So you have a goal, and the key results is how you're going to achieve that goal. And so I wanted to do a check-in to see where I stand 3 months in with some of my yearly goals that I wanted to focus on in the first 3 months. I will say I don't think I got as far as I wanted to because I spent half of February and most of March having back-to-back colds. So I was just trying to hang in and do work. Work is also really picked up for me, hence why this video is going up a little later than intended. And March and April are also busy months for me personally. We have a lot of family birthdays. Ramadan also fell in this time. We're gonna have Eid and gonna go on a trip, so a bunch of stuff happening. And so for this check-in, I'm gonna write in the main goal and the results and then score it. There's a scoring system for OKRs, you can look it up. But generally for OKRs overall, you aim to get like 70% done, because if you could achieve everything, that means you didn't set challenging goals. I don't know if that really applies in your personal life, but I'm gonna try to follow that methodology. And then I'm gonna also do a combination of a start, stop, and continue exercise. I won't add anything to start because I'll be doing that on the Q2 side on the right. So I'm going to take a look and be like, do I want to continue this? Do I want to stop it? So I can focus on something else. Below my quarter one check-in is my important dates. So I can put in my important dates for the next 3 months. I really like this because I don't have to fill out a full-on future log. I never end up filling them out, and I feel like they're so cumbersome to put together. So I think it's a good compromise, and I track things far down in the future in a spreadsheet. So on the right side, I have a similar little table to fill out for Q2. So these will be my quarter 2 goals. And then I put this really cool washi tape that is also part of the Notebook Therapy set, and then put in my sticker header for quarter 2. I realized I accidentally called this a check-in. I didn't even realize until after, when I was editing this video. It should say quarter 2 goals. I mean, it's already pasted in there, so I can't do much. So in this table, I'll write out my key goal and then the actions to take to achieve that goal. And then you'll see how I'm going to change around the washi tape a few times on this spread because I didn't really like what I chose. Some of it felt too thick or too bulky, so I'm going to go in a few times. And then on this bottom half of the right page, I'm going to set up my habit trackers for the next 3 months. I really like doing this because I don't have to draw out these little tables every 3 months. I also forgot to leave space for a header, so I just put it on the side. Thankfully it wasn't that big. So I like having the habit trackers for the month, and because I only track a couple habits, it fits very nicely here, which is skincare, reading, and moving around. This washi tape set also comes with a few different stickers, so I'm also utilizing those. I'm going to take my dark gray Tombow dual brush pen and block out the little squares that don't apply to that month, so I know that I'll start on the first day of the month and not go off base. I usually just do an X mark for each day in each little grid box. Pretty easy. It's nice to see. I know some people do different colors or circles, a dash, and stuff, so you can do whatever you want pretty much here. And you also see I used some leftover washi on the side to decorate since I had cut it from the top header, and it was a good way to reuse it. You'll also notice that there's no section for favorites. I just realized that I am really not filling those in anymore. They're always kind of a hassle, even though I wanted to document that information. I do have spreads at the beginning of my journal for TV shows that I've been watching that month, music, movies, and then of course my reading tracker. So I think it's fine to just keep it in the yearly collection versus try to fill it out every month. And now we're moving on to my weekly spreads, and this month I really wanted to do Dutch doors. One, because it's easy in terms of decoration. I wanted to keep the decoration on the top half, well, I think it's more like a third, and then I can just set up my weeklies all together at once, and I don't have to decorate each weekly in depth. So it's kind of like a cheat or a hack, I guess, for myself. You'll see that I wrote for sure, like, this is where you cut the paper, this is the decoration page, because I will cut it wrong if I do not have those notes and guidelines. So the top third that I'm going to collage will also be on black paper, as you saw me measuring out how much I needed to cut, and I'll be doing the collaging on those black papers and then pasting it in. You'll also notice that I only have 3 weeklies, and that's because for one half of 1 week I'll be going on a trip and I won't really need my weeklies to track things, and then before that I'll probably be like packing or doing last minute errands, so I just won't have time honestly to fill it out, which is totally fine. Rather than wasting a weekly, I'd rather just not have it there, and it means one less weekly to set up. So now I'm starting to collage. I've had these collage papers for a couple years. You've seen them in my videos if you watched some of my older setups, and there's actually some astronomy ephemera, I guess. They look like book pages, and there's a specific section about the sun. So I just cut that part and ripped around it and really wanted to focus on that. You'll see that I kind of stuck it on before I realized I wanted to put the washi underneath and I couldn't rip it off, so it is what it is. Then I added a couple more stickers. You'll see I didn't really plan how I wanted to layer things, but for the second one I had a better idea of how I wanted things to go together. While I love all the artwork that people put in their bullet journals, I'm unfortunately not as skilled or dedicate enough time to practicing my artistic skills. So I really like collaging. It is totally therapeutic. I was finishing an audiobook while I was doing this, It was a rainy day, so this was like the perfect mood to collage. And I had another piece of collaging that had some cool mentions of the sun, and so I put that together. Brought back my glue tape and pasted this in. I really like using glue tape because it's really sticky and tacky, and it's nice to spread it out more than a glue stick, but you could totally use a glue stick or anything else you have. And then you'll see that I also left a little bit of paper for where I cut for the Dutch door. This is so it prevents it from fully messing with the binding. If you cut too close, it'll make it weird, and I just didn't want those loose pages. And I wanted to use this weekly washi tape that I have from totality. I use them in my spreads all the time because I have it. I use the white ones a lot, and so this was, I think, a really fun opportunity to use the black ones. I kind of wish I had either stamped in the numbers or printed them on the labels, just so it'll look a little nicer than my handwriting, but now I know for next time. And then that first box, because I made 8 boxes, is a tasks list. So this will be miscellaneous tasks that I want to accomplish in the month that aren't part of my monthly or bi-weekly tasks, which I actually track on my phone through the reminders app. It hasn't been working perfectly, but it's working better than I thought. And then you'll see I also put together the other spreads. I have the things to buy section, and then the last spread ends with the 30th because I mentioned that I'll be busy on some days that I won't be using my journal, so it's actually fit all of April really perfectly on these 3 weekly spreads, which is so satisfying. And then I'll probably have some spreads after this for some journaling, catching up, memory keeping, and that's kind of how I'm approaching the favorites now too. And that's pretty much it. I really like how this quarterly setup turned out. I think this is now my favorite spread so far this year, but I've been liking most of mine. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, what you think about quarterly planning. Please be sure to subscribe for more videos, and I'll chat with you in the next one. Bye.